Hi, my name is Marcella Naidoo and I'm the National Director of the Black Sash. I've been in this position since 2002. What does the Black Sash do? I think primarily one must remember that the Black Sash is a human rights organization, driven in large part to protect, promote the Constitution and the rights contained therein. We are a very old organization that is 55 years old. What does the Black Sash do to actually promote those rights or to protect such rights or to educate people about those rights? We do four things. The first thing we do is we do rights education. It sounds very simple, and it is. It's understanding what the Constitution or the Bill of Rights says about our specific rights, and in particular socio-economic rights. And it puts that into simple words, into either pamphlets or paralegal guides or a radio show or a TV discussion in which we make sure that people begin to understand what their rights are at this time. And an example of that would be when we went out to talk to people about their right to social assistance, in particular the rights of children to social assistance and also of older people. And this we do very regularly, and it's done by every member of the organization. The second way we do that is to provide advice, free advice for people. We do this by one-on-ones in which people come to our office, they drop in to ask for advice when they feel that their rights have been neglected or violated. And it's largely to ask information because they don't know how to navigate the bureaucracies that actually hold within them the power to ensure that that right is promoted or that people benefit from that right. Such as, for example, the right to have an ID, because that's what ensures that you live a life in any country and are remembered as a member of some society. We also do one-on-one advice on the telephone. People phone into our helpline and ask for information again, and we assure them how we can do this. Sometimes we discover that people's rights are being abused or being violated in some way or the other, or just neglected, and that's the time we start to engage with the various departments in Department of Social Development, the Department of Home Affairs, etc. The third way we engage is to monitor that rights are delivered to people, and that's by one, analyzing our caseload to see if there are any trends in abuse or that's happening or neglect. Or we check to see that we will go and sit at the delivery point and see how those rights are being enacted by the state departments, or even business, or when we deal with private pensions, for example. Finally, another way we ensure that rights are promoted is that we do this through advocacy work. And sometimes the advocacy work takes the form of litigation, but that's normally at the last point when we've run out of all options to have dialogue. And we do have a case in point now with a disability grant appeals case in which we are dealing. We've got a case against the Department of Social Development after 2 years of dialogue. But advocacy is also about identifying the gaps in the provision of law in terms of people's rights, particularly the right to dignity and the right to a fair and just administration, or right to justice itself. So we look at the law and say, does the law contain all those rights, or is the law neglecting a right? And where we see there's a gap, for example, in the provision of social security in our country, children up to the age of 18 are provided for with a child support grant. This is for income support, and old people from the age of 60. And then the vast majority of people between the ages of 19 to 59 have no form of support. And we know there are a whole range of unemployed young people in particular. So we will make that gap known and talk about how we need need to deal with that as an issue in terms of the right to dignity and the right to lead a fulfilling life.